Right. I did not do the every other day thing with this, but I'm probably just gonna do at least like two a week. Just two videos a week, just so I can get something out there and eventually I can ramp things up when, I'm hopefully traveling eventually and get things going with a business. And yeah, so I'm just gonna talk about that. First off, I want to talk about things I just enjoy talking about, things that I got going on in life, and then whatever else, is on my mind. So I'll start with, again, this whole business thing I got going on. I do want to explain a bit more about what I do and how exactly I got to this point that I'm at. So about a year ago, let me talk about my whole journey, but I do need to quickly get some. All right, needed some water. But yeah, so around, I do want to take this off because this might be can. But yeah, around a year ago, uh, more so around like last February. It is May 16th today, so again, it's been a bit over a year. Around then, I quit nicotine. I got my Jetta, which is like some shitbox little four-cylinder, but it's something, it's getting me place to place, and it's a manual, so it's an all right experience until the next whip. Oh man, I'm dehydrated still, but yeah. So I quit nicotine, got that. I was staying at friends because Ubers would have literally drained my pockets before I got that car. I was spending crazy on Ubers, like if I didn't get a ride to work, because I work currently at the Rockingham Mall at the vape stand, or just vape vibes. I also work at the stores. So yeah, and again, I don't vape. I did it a year ago. Actually, halfway through, I even hit something for a week, and then I felt like shit. Researched again about what was happening in my body on like I like understanding why I felt the way I did. I think that's like the best way you can help yourself at the end of the day. Is just understanding why things work the way they do. So like me with nicotine, I just researched what it did to my body, and I'm like, wait, man, like when you understand what things do to you, and especially like the foods in America, 99% of shit I would not eat. Like I research the ingredients of things I eat. I eat incredibly clean, and yeah, so that's again, when you understand how things work, it can help you and it also helps you in the way that like you get paranoid. I would say like I'm very paranoid of eating bad things because I know what it does to me, and like when I do it, I feel very guilty. So like it's stuff like that. But yeah. So again, there's the foods and then nicotine. When I researched that, I realized how shit it was, and I already knew it was bad. Obviously, we all know it's bad. But like again, it gets that dopamine. The dopamine, the constant dopamine and everything it does to you, it's terrible, and it really hooks you because of how much dopamine you're getting. You constantly just have a dopamine stick that's like not even just a dopamine stick, it's a dopamine plus chemical stick, you know what I mean? It's literal junk. And we're a species are like getting high off of poison. And like obviously like I smoke marijuana. There's still thing like that's also considered poison when you think about it, of course, because again, like it's something that is meant to kill off and protect the plant itself, which is like again, same thing with tobacco. It kills like insects with the amount of nicotine it has, things like that. But we can get high off it because of how big we are. Like it was meant to more so like scare away like insects and stuff. So yeah, that it's all poison. But like when you understand how nicotine works, it's so much worse. Like, it's so bad. The fact that we were the first generation that could have been off of nicotine as a whole because of, big tobacco, we were more so going over to smoking marijuana rather than nicotine or cigarettes. And then, vapes came around, Juul, and big tobacco bought Juul because it was their competition. That's just how shit works. And then a bunch of shit went down, and now we have vapes that are literal garbage, like and I still work there, and I hate it because like as much as I like the freedom I have working there, I do have freedom. I get to work on my computer constantly. I can always just work on my own business. So I'm trying to get out of the job while working the job. It's very nice. I love it. I get to talk to people. I get to talk to a lot of different kinds of people, and I also just feel bad because like a lot of people who like say they want to quit, and there's like other people I can just I can read through a lot of shit. I can tell when someone's lying to themselves or making an excuse or doing this or that. Like it's very easy to tell when especially when you understand human psychology. I guess I do want to talk about psychology a lot because I fucking love psychology. Everybody needs to learn it. When you're a human, you understand psychology. You can take control over your own self. You get to take control of yourself as well as like your emotional states. I think logical. You just understand why you do the things you do, and then when you understand the why behind things, you can divert, the way that you approach things or whatever else may be to put you in the direction of not doing those things in the future, or just again being 1% better every day to contribute to the better version of yourself in the future. That's what that stuff is. It's not something that happens overnight at all. It's really something that you stack up each day, and then eventually you become the person who you dreamt to be. And when you understand psychology, you can become whoever you want to be. Like I said, you have control over your own self, your being, your state of mind, your habits, atomic habits. If that is the one book I will tell everybody to read, because like when you understand that book, you can shape your own habits, and you understand the whole science, psychology behind it all. It's a game changer. Like you know how to, shift your habits to have those good habits, which again, having those good habits puts you in is the thing that gets you to become who you want to be. Like you can be this person who's like, yeah, like I'm not psych. People who literally do this all the time are like, I don't do this. Like I'm not like, oh, like or people who do a certain thing and say, "Oh, you're so talented," like it's making it seem like luck, and a lot of people just don't realize they have complete fucking control over what they do. Someone who's good at singing, they just took time. Like me, I sing, but like I'm not, fucking amazing, amazing, amazing. But like I will confidently say I'm good, and like it's because again I've done it for a very long time. Same with other things like technology or anything I do that I'm very good at, or just understanding things. It's been a very long time of me doing it. It's not just it takes that 1% each day to get to that 100%. It's not just 100% quick, because everyone wants the quick little wins, the quick wins. They don't want to put the effort in to really get that, like the feeling of achieving that thing. Because that's like what makes it feel so great is because of all the work behind it to lead up to that moment. And that's why that moment means a lot to me, especially when I do get there, because it's going to be something that I worked my ass off to get to, and it's not easy. It really isn't. Like I'm still fumbling right now on my own. Like I didn't do any cold calls today. I'm just I made the excuse of like I'll do the emails and DMs, but I haven't even fucking done a cold call. Like I'm going to. I know when I say that, some people be like, oh, like you say, but a lot of people can say that stuff and not do it. But I know I'm gonna do it, because again, I'm the person that gets that regret where the point where it fucking kills me. Like I could never, like the fact I put a year of effort into this business, I couldn't give up. I couldn't. Like there's that quote where it's like, I didn't come this far just to come this far. Like why would I work all the way here just to walk back? That's fucking pointless. Why would I do that? I already know that I can do it. I've already gotten, work experience with a team and a client that I almost closed a deal with. It's just I didn't have the system to price things or estimate things so that he had an idea of what he was getting himself into. I kind of just freeballed it, and that was my fault. But I learned, and I have, experience more than ever now. I have not just that experience, but I have the case studies and of the work I've done for them. So now I have that in my own NAN, and I can use that to my advantage. Just be like, hey, I've built this. Like I have an actual digital asset that I built for somebody here that has solved this problem. And I've also went around and did a whole bunch of other things to get this all to work. So I've really worked my ass off. I spent like 80 hours on all this stuff, and like and of course, like yeah, it could suck to say I didn't get the deal. I didn't get the 5,000. That it's a big number, but I will for the next. I have a system now that lets them understand the price at each and every day. Like each every day they'll know the price because of like certain checkpoints. Well, not every single day unless they ask, or if I just like feel like telling them. But like we have certain checkpoints that we have a whole system now. Certain checkpoints they know the pricing. They have a budget that we'll work with. We will know. We'll make sure we're very big on this pricing for the next time. And I've rebuilt all of these systems. So now the next client, I have all these systems in place. That's why building systems is very important. Like, yeah, you can say like, just do it. just do it. But like this is stuff that has a lot of liability. I'm working with clients' data. You know what I mean? Clients' data. This is something that like, I was seeing records of his, leads of his, people he's like reaching out with, people he's making deals with. I see all this data. I have control over this data because again, I'm doing the tasks to capture certain info, to test things, I have my test contacts. So that again, I can, test it and make it in the real environment with my test contacts, or even some of his real ones, because he doesn't mind. It's not something that, is going to destroy them. It just does the thing that you're doing. If it has an error, it's not going to either do something or it does like, something that I could fix easily. It's not going to be anything too bad unless there's like, super security risks for things that we would take more precautions for. But yeah, it's a lot of liability. So I've spent a year building systems, SOPs and Notion, resources, documents, softwares. I had connected accounts, databases, fucking the whole fucking shebang. I'm telling you, like if you're a business owner, anyone who in the future who sees this, or even the future me who sees this, like I would still be very impressed with what I have built already. As a fucking 19-year-old, I built it. And I'm now 20, but like my systems now as a 20-year-old are fucking crazy. Like you wouldn't think a 20-year-old will make this shit. I built an entire skeleton of a business, the brain of the business. So like someone can come in and they know exactly what to do for every step. Everything's interconnected, entire connections between softwares and fucking links and documents and between the SOPs. Everything is in those dashboards for like a certain role to have that gives them all the SOPs and everything. I couldn't explain it even if I wanted to. It would take me fucking a week to explain everything, even if I and I would leave out a giant amount. It's yeah. I had AI built a lot, like basically all of it. But again, I've read it and I've been through every single word in that fucking Notion, which is my database for everything, and even like my documents and docs and all. Because again, like it's not something that I'm just brainlessly feeding something to create. People who have a bad perception of AI, I use it in a way where you would be like, "What the fuck?" Like I have not seen this side of AI. Like you're looking at people typing, "Give me this, give me that." Me, I'm giving an entire fucking paragraph that's just explaining every detail that I want, having it ask me questions. I ask it questions, and then again, it would spit me out fucking 30 questions to break down every detail that I could possibly give to it to make it, tailored to exactly what I want it to be. And then if then there's the final output, let's say like my website that I've made, I then look at it all, I read it all, and I'm like, oh, like, I need this to be fixed. Oh, but this needs to be fixed. I want this. Oh, what about this? I ask the questions again, and you iterate until you have that final piece. And that's what expands your capabilities. The whole AI replacing you isn't it you just feeding it something and it fucking spits it out unless you've built a system like me in automation where it automates all that stuff. That's different. That's it's consistent. It works. It's obviously way more efficient than a human could possibly ever be capable of being. Like that's the whole point here. People are not ready for this shit. I work in this stuff. I'm doing this stuff. I've seen this shit since the year ago when ChatGPT was not as good, like a couple years ago. And like now I use Claude Max. Holy shit. Like when I look back, like, I don't even realize how crazy far shit has gotten this past year. Even this past year, how far shit's gotten. It is fucking crazy, bro. People are not ready for this shit. And I mean, that's what I'm saying. Education's so conditioning people to be filling the jobs that the governments need and the military and all these things and to be obedient to authority where people are now going to have no idea what the fuck to do because of them needing the authority where they don't think independently. They get given tasks and they get fed all this bullshit to then interpret the world at a complete fucking as a fantasy. It's not even what's really going on in the world. Most people have no fucking idea what's going on in the world, and it's sad, and it's not their fault. You know what I mean? It's just they're getting provided complete fucking slop as learning, and it's just what's fed to them to be confused and obedient, just to be controllable. Because again, they want their population to be controllable to funnel where they need to be funneled. Like they need military, they need jobs, they need consumerism, especially, bro. They need people to keep buying and buying and buying. And just, they need the poor people. I've read this in The Worldly Philosophers, the book I'm reading right now. Like, it's quite literally about Adam Smith. I'll look into him. He is the most renowned economical philosopher of all time. Like, he literally created the foundation of what we know of, like, what innate, like, of what an economy needs now to survive. Like our whole economy, you could understand easily through that dude's perspective because he's the one that laid it all out as a philosopher. So like, because again, it's the Wealth of Nations. That's the book that he wrote. That's like 900 pages in 1700s, and he was like that. I haven't gotten to that book, but the Worldly Philosophers, covers a few philosophers. He's the first one, and we're breaking down his daily life and shit about him, and he's a very interesting dude. So I can't wait to read more about that today. But yeah, it's a lot. Like people don't understand. Like they need poor people for the world to survive. They need these small jobs that people who, if they got paid better, or if they got paid better too, people wouldn't be working as much. That's another thing. That's why they gotta keep people thriving for the dollar, thriving for this. They need it to be their survival. And that's why they created the system around that survival need and all their survival needs in general. If you look in any industry, in a business, in a corporation, they have a psychologist. They have psychologists studying who, study our fucking brain, trying to understand how you work. That's how I study. I study my brain, how I work, how other people work. And like they do that themselves, but not for like, educating yourself and trying to understand the world yourself and yourself and others better than you already do. But it's more like to again hijack you, like your dopamine receptors with all this fucking chemical bullshit that America feeds people and like everything to make it fatty and just the perfect fucking combos. Like they feel like heaven, but literally fucking destroy your body. Destroy your body, your mind, and your fucking life. People don't get it. Oh, it's not that shit, buddy. You're eating fucking fake shit. It's not even real. It's chemicals. Half of the shit is fucking garbage. And if you look at the process of it being made, I'm sure you would fucking bat an eye just to keep eating it and have that comfort of what it provides. But if you actually paid attention to what they do, you would truly be fucking disgusted. I bet you everybody would if they actually took it seriously. If you actually research what those things do to your body over time. It's not instantly, it's over time that stuff happens. And it's just, people don't get it. It's so much more serious. And like, we've created a world of fucking garbage fantasy land bullshit when the best reality has been in front of us this whole time. Nature, whole foods, connection, like diversity, like just loving everybody, wanting best for everybody, trying to make the world a better place individually that collectively makes it a better place. But they just want people to fucking fight, not be easily controllable. They want people to not be independent. I mean, they want them to be a collection. They see them as just a number to the whole, just a little speck to the whole pie. Just a little grain of the pie, grain of sand at the beach. Like, that's just all people are. They're just numbers to these motherfuckers, these literal parasites. That's what I call them now. Fuck the elite word. That's gonna give them a high because they feel powerful as an elite. Now I'm calling them fucking parasites because what they are. They're literal parasites that hijacked and literally started extracting labor from their own fucking species. Like, wow. Like, obviously not the ones today that happened over hundreds of years, thousands even, but like, dude, come on. Like, if people just don't look into things. A lot of people just believe shit without even looking into it. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, half these people will read something and with their dumbass, they don't have any intellect to actually decipher in a way that's logical. They just believe it. They don't even look into it. They don't look it up. They don't judge against it. They don't, question it. They just believe it. If they think an authority or just it makes sense in their mind, or again, if an authority said it, then they'll believe it. They'll believe it. They won't care. They don't want to have the extra energy to like, actually have a fucking mind that can, wander logically through this world, which is a world full of fucking stupidity, bullshit, dumb, like literal just dumbass shit. And it's just, but again, there's so much good in the world. That's why I'll always keep fighting for that. Most people I meet are great people. Like I'll always say that 95 out of 100 people, because there's always gonna be those few that have done terrible things, but deep down they still have good in them. But like 95 out of 100 people I meet, I bet you are great people. Like they want best for their family, friends, for people. They have their own experiences, their own love interests, their own their own. It's the sonder of everything. You want to sonder about things. You want to realize how complex everybody else's life is, and not to get caught up in your own Your own perception. Yeah. So I yap a lot. I really do. I yap a lot, but this is gonna help me, funnel shit out. I can't keep all this in. I have nobody to talk to about this stuff. Like I have a few people, but I also have people who really get it. I can't wait to meet those people who are like, I'm speaking about this stuff and they just get it without me having to provide all that context to basically teach them to get it. I don't have to teach people to get it, but I do. I do love teaching people about it too, because I like, educating about the truth in the world, what's actually going on, and just to become the best version of yourself. And again, I say a lot of this shit. I'm not perfect at all. I'm still living in a fucking trailer home. I still have bad habits. I'm smoking marijuana. I fucking didn't do my cold calls today. I haven't started my cold call yet. Because again, like that's the one thing I want to get into because I just feel at this point it's just my final like line. I've sent thousands of emails. I've done, tons of other methods. I do love the method of DMing people. Like if you go on Facebook, that's where I had my first case study client. Uh, Basically, well, not case study client. I had two case study clients total. I worked with a landscaping guy, and then he just that pricing shit was fucked too, and he kind of just ghosted me. And then, which again is unprofessional on his part, but it's whatever. He's supposed to communicate with people, but it's just how it is. Then I learned from that, got a case study from that, and then I did the next guy. Uh, his name is Chris. He was a wholesaler in real estate, and then I built systems for that. And of course, like he kept one part of the system. I just didn't give him the other part, so he's still left with something. He left with something that's now automating, updating things within Data Sift. So he got something from that, thankfully. I'm glad, I didn't waste his time for him to get, nothing. I did want to leave something. I just could not have the reputation of giving him the free thing or like, cutting my price way too low where it just demoralizes like what I'm aiming to do. Like I can't if I even used that right, I probably didn't. I'm kind of again, I'm still a little bit on the high right now, so I'm not able to put together my thoughts as like as efficiently as I am when I'm completely clear minded. But I just love yapping as well when I'm high. It makes me think very deep about things, and it's why you also don't want to get too into it because like you don't want to overthink things. You gotta take more action than you I'd say it's safe to do take as half. It's safe to do 50% action, 50% thinking. Like you can't constantly be doing things. You gotta like sit back and just ponder. Thinking is like what we as humans have had the gratefulness of having. Yeah, I can't put words together too well right now. But like either way, uh, it's like thinking is a very powerful thing. People don't get that. And I love thinking. But again, you don't want to overthink. You want to take action as well. So you want to think, you want to learn, but take action with the stuff you're learning about. And you will get fucking way better than just studying in school will ever give you. I'm telling you, like whatever business, whatever job you may want to do, and there's something in the back of your mind that may be better off. Like I could be doing this business, something I would love to try doing, something I would dream to have or do, dream to be. You can do that. Like I'm here saying that of course you don't have to listen to me. I may not be there, but I fucking will. Remember Joseph Maggie, remember my name because I will be there and I will be, one of the fucking the literal best at what I do because I know I fucking will. Because again, like that's something that I have complete and utter confidence in because of the work I put in. Because of the ideas I've had, the even again, even the fucking uh I can't think of the word, but like again, even like other people like even validation from like people who do these things, even clients or other people who are just like, it does give me makes me feel a little good. People are like, oh, like that's you're doing real well, like because again, like it's not something that happens right away. I could spend another 2 years and I couldn't fucking even if I didn't replace my job by then, oh yeah, I'd be like, what the fuck, bro? I'd be desperate, fucking literal kiss in the ass of every person I call, trying to get that fucking next client because there's no way I will still be there by then. 2 years is a while from now. No fucking way will I be here. I will be in Puerto Rico or traveling somewhere by then. 1000%. I will not back up on that. That is something I completely believe in. Because again, I know I will. It's not just belief, I know I will. Because again, I listen to what I say. I do as I say. I listen to myself. I have control of myself. That's why psychology is so important. But like, another thing is just people just again the conditioning of school. It makes them not feel as capable as they could be. Everybody's so capable. You know, you are so fucking capable. Whoever it may be, again, like I don't think anyone will watch these. I don't give a shit. It's more like again like a diary for myself. And eventually I'll be doing a lot more with this personal brand stuff where eventually this will be a channel that'll be thriving. And I know that for sure too. Because again, it's just consistency. That's what it is. It's consistency and you just, especially with that consistency, you learn more than anything because you're consistently doing something. So your neural networks, they're just constantly running through that loop where it's just strengthening. And then you can, like, let's imagine watching a movie. Just imagine watching a movie. You watch it one time. So when you're watching it in the background, in your mind, even if you know it or not, your neural networks are binding and is creating new patterns to be able to, now you remember those things in that movie because of those new neural networks being created. So that because again, it's your chain of thought. It is your thought. That's what literal neur, uh, neurons are. But like, then you watch it a second time, and now that you already have, the first run through, you already have that first path. Then it can, it has that memory of where it doesn't have to spend that energy creating all that new threaded like neurons. It strengthens what is already there. And by doing so, you're like, oh, now I see this. Now I notice this because your brain isn't so focused on, digesting everything for that first go around. Where the second time you're going around, you're again, it's strengthening that bond. So now you can spend that energy seeing new things, and that's what's strengthening that bond. So now you know all these other new things on top of what you already knew about the movie. So yeah, and then you watch a third way, and then it can do the same thing. It's just strengthening the same neural network, and you can find other things you didn't notice. So that's the whole analogy of learning. When you do something and when you understand it at this level, you're like, wait, like you can apply that to like quite literally anything. You could be fucking it can be content because again when you're running through those like you doing the content you're still getting these new neural networks wired in and then like you learn something about content creating or you learn a new pattern in your market or industry whatever the hell it may be. It can be anything you're doing. If you note, you can now notice these new things. You strengthen that bond and then you get better. That's how you get better at things. That's how you learn to walk. That's how you rode a bike. That's how you did this and that. It's how you know how to do anything. It's how you know how to speak a fucking language. Because it's just the reps. You keep putting in the reps and you get better every time. That's why you don't need fucking school. Like people think they need it, and it's good. It's good in its own ways. It does educate, yes, but don't take it as complete truth. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to elementary or middle school or high school, those three are majority like they're quite literally created to condition people, to funnel into jobs and this and that. Yeah, it teaches you because again they want their citizens to be smarter than the other countries. Of course, they're going to educate you well. Doesn't defeat the purpose of why that was created. The actual true purpose of what it does and what it is for. I mean, yeah, it educates, but what was it created for? I mean, what are they using it for? There's a reason for it being there. People just don't fucking care. They're like, oh, it is what it is. It's just that, I'm not gonna, people don't want to understand any of this stuff. When you look into it, you then like, oh, like it was created again. It was like the one in the U.S. was because of Horace Mann who was from Massachusetts in the U.S. He went to Prussia because Prussia created this model, and they're the ones who mastered it. And he was like, "Holy fuck, you guys got great control over your population. They have very obedient people that listen to authorities. They got great like, citizens who just funnel in the jobs very well. They got great military, again, all being funneled in from school. They created it for that fucking purpose, and then Horace Mann brought it over, and then everybody adopted that idea because of how great they did with it, because of how great it worked, to the point where people even fight for the system. People are within it who are literally being extracted and abused by it. You can be the poorest of the poor who's just getting fucking everything taken from you by the system. They don't give a fuck about you, and you would still be like, "Oh no, no, like I need this, like we need this, like." I don't know. I don't want to bring up the whole job thing because people are gonna be like, "Oh, but you need the job. You need the job." No, you need it because that's what this fucking system made it for, to extract your labor, to extract it. You only need it because it's needed for you to survive in this economy, in this world, in the way that they created the system. And I mean, like, imagine one where you don't have to work. You can get your basic securities because of the abundance that the governments create and what they're capable of doing. I'm not saying with the current system they can do it. No fucking shit. No shit, they can't do it right now. They've created this whole system to extract from people, where they would have to fucking change everything to be the opposite. Of course, things need to be changed, but that's why you do one thing at a time. Each person doing their own fucking part, which collectively makes the difference. People just don't get that. Like, oh, like, you're the one that's complaining while there's people fighting for you to have a better life, for everybody to have a better life, including me. I want to do this for people one day. Like, I want to help recreate the education system. I want to be a part of that. Because I know what we need, what people can, like, what can create a fucking utopia. And I know it sounds kind of stupid, is we're not gonna ever get to a perfect utopia, but to push towards one, because why the fuck would we not want to go towards that? Like, who the fuck? Calm your Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Oh, because people get things, get their securities, get their needs for free. Are you kidding me? So people can we can allow our own species and other animals and other things to live without needing to fucking literally just spend all your energy and time that you could be spending to have great experience in this world instead of becoming a robot behind a fucking computer. Like, what? Yeah, I understand that some people, like, they fight for it because they want it to survive. They think it's needed to feed their families and this and that. And I get that. I understand. I'm not hating on that idea because, of course, it is needed right now. Of course it is. Because, again, the system is created for that to be a need. Because the fact that they did it so fucking well, now people need it to survive. That's what I'm saying. They created the system so people literally need to be extracted from, for the governments to extract their time and their labor to advance humanity, for these kings to have a better life, while, like, the people at the bottom barely get that jump up that they deserve. Like, yeah, we have better lives than the peasants did a couple hundred years ago, or fucking hundreds of years ago, whatever the fuck. Of course we have better lives than they did, and we're still in that position of peasants. Like, if you look at the structure of everything, we've evolved from that structure. Of course, it's going to still be similar. We have, like, our presidents that are kings, or people who lead the countries are kings in ways, and then, like, the rich people or the nobles that invest in the kingdom and help the kingdom thrive because they want their lives to be better too. It's like, it's just they're all buddy buddies with the people at the top, all the nobles and kings. Like, it's the same thing today, and people are peasants, but we don't see that because, again, we have all our lives have evolved so much that we don't even know. Like, we're living completely different lives, and I am grateful for that, of course. Because guess what? Today, unlike, hundreds of years ago, when you were a peasant, you were stuck a peasant. Today, you can be a peasant and become a noble, and even a fucking king. Who knows? Like, you can do that now. That's the difference between then and now. Is that instead of you being stuck where you are, you can actually become and get to the top with the others, and just, contribute in a good way, unlike most of them. And I will say, like, probably a good half are, like, constantly trying to fight for better, like, for a better world, and people, whoever has wealth, I'd say half of, like, the wealthiest people are actually doing something, trying to make a better world. And I'm not saying just strictly billionaires, like, obviously multimillionaires too. But yeah, so, there's a lot to talk about. I love just yapping about shit, and I'll be doing it a lot. It's something that I feel, again, I need to do, because I can't be just sitting with all these thoughts in my head, having no way of really getting it out, because I don't have anybody who understands that shit. Or if they do, they feel uncomfortable, or they feel like I'm bragging, especially the business stuff. It might seem like I'm bragging. How the fuck could that ever be bragging? Like, I understand it can sound like it. When I look at it and try to perceive it through someone else's eyes, that has that kind of mindset. I can see how it sounds like that. But, like, dude, like, it's not. It's just things I like talking about. It's things I like doing. Like, imagine talking about your job. People who love talking about their job. It's the same thing. It can't be bragging. It's just me. Like, it's what I love doing. And most of the jobs that people do, they don't love doing. So, like, it's just like, come the fuck on. Most people are bragging about their jobs just because of the money. Like, that's just like, people just want the status. That's like, that's why there's just such an issue with today's, like, generation. It's just so, like, the addiction to status is so fucking surreal. People want to be liked by everybody. They want to, and I understand it. Again, it's the comic. When you understand psychology, again, you know why these things are the way they are. You understand why people want to feel like that. You understand why us as a human needs to feel like that. It's just, again, most people are caught up in their own perception that they don't really go outside of it. I don't know. I won't keep this too long because I know this has probably been a while. It's probably been like 30 minutes now, and I don't even know how long it's been. But I want to at least do something, and I can keep doing this each time, and I'll just keep updating how I'm doing with things. So yeah, the whole business thing, basically, I'm gonna be getting the cold calls done. We getting hopefully some DMs out today. I hope, and then as well as some emails. I'm gonna switch to like me personally writing emails because again, it just feels more authentic. I need to stick to things like that, unless you're doing like super scale, sending thousands of emails with a automation. That's different. But like when it comes to like sending a few, like 50 a day, I'll do that I'll personalize them myself. I just have a system where AI strips their entire website, searches the web about the business, feeds me their email, like the best email that I can reach them at. So like if it finds the owner email, that's the best bet. It'll give me the owner email, which is why I did it. And then I also have these automations like putting all these leads into my sheet organized. Like if I pause and switched over to my computer view, I could show you, but I don't feel like doing all that right now. But yeah, so I basically just have all like the pointers and everything unique about the business or things that I could bring up in the email, and then I make the email myself. So I have all that automated up to that point. And I used to just have it like, draft the emails for me. It was like, I'll just go to my Gmail and go to drafts and then send it all. Because it literally just puts the drafts in my Gmail. So I just go into them and send them. But yeah, now my buddy's calling me. So we'll be going on Discord and chatting it up. So yeah, I do want to be doing this a few times a week, minimum 2 times a week, because that's my non-negotiable. I love doing this, and it's something I want to continue doing, even if nobody's gonna be fucking seeing this. But in the future, people will see this. So hello, me from 5, 10 years from now, or anybody 5, 10 years from now. I do want to say one thing though. I fucking told you so. Just look where I am now. After all this work, people are looking at me in my current situation. Well, I see where I'm headed. That's the difference. They see where I am now, and that's another thing. A lot of people I stop talking to, they don't know me. Like I will be honest, if you're someone that I used to know, not used to know, I still know you, but like someone that I, was friends with, talked to, like unfortunately, you just don't know me anymore. I've changed dramatically. Like I mean, completely. I do like very select, very like one or two things that the old me used to do. But other than that, I have completely changed. I have different habits. I talk and think about different things. And even then, back then, even then, like I was even like in my alone time, I thought a lot. I was a big thinker. I was always like a very curious, driven person. That's what led me here. It's because of me researching things and want to understand more about the world and everything. Every time I had a curious thought, I would research it. Like that was always a habit of mine, and I'm grateful to have that habit because that's what led me here. And then 2 years from now, I'll be a completely different person once again. So yeah, I just wanted to make this and get something out, and I'll be doing a lot more of this, way more of it, because I love it. I love it so much. It felt so good doing this. So yeah, if you're watching this, just seriously, I'm gonna say this in like every video. Just remember, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Like, who don't give a shit what people think about you. Like really, don't fucking care. Like, they're the least of your problems. The thing that you gotta focus on most is yourself. You gotta love yourself enough to say no to others. You gotta put yourself first. Because again, another quote: I take care of me for you. You take care of you for me. So when you take care of yourself, you do the best for yourself. Imagine me 5 years from now. I would then have a lot more free time. Right now, I don't because I had to put all my time into making this where I don't have to have all that free time. I mean, where I will have all that free time. I'm freaking jittering my words right now. But then I could, take care of my family. If anybody needs like a medical help, I can afford it. If a friend needs it, I can afford it. If someone's struggling, I can help them. If someone doesn't understand something for what it is, I can tell them the truth and teach them where it, helps them lead them to a better direction in the future. That That's what taking care of yourself first looks like. And a lot of people take it as like selfishness, but it's not. You got to be selfish. This is your life, you know what I mean? Like you're in your perspective. You can't let everybody take your time away. It's not like where you're just, ignoring everybody or just, completely blowing everybody off. It could be at the start, but again, it's more so you take the time now so you have the time later to experience life and to have all that free time to do whatever you want to do. You have a business working for you and you just have to make phone calls. You don't have to, you can go to some meetings sometimes. You don't have to be anywhere, but now for me right now, I have to be making these calls. I have to be making these messages. I have to be getting this outreach out because if I don't, then nothing's moving without me moving. That's why I feel like if I stop, everything stops for me. Like I feel like if I don't work on something, it just stops. Everything stops and freezes for me. Like I feel anxious because I need to get something done, and I know that's like not a good habit. Of course, you want to relax. I do. I do relax a lot. I give myself time at night. But yeah, like of course, that stuff happens. So yeah, like I said, take care of yourself because like when you take care of yourself, you can then take care of the people around you better. And most people just don't understand that. They help people. Like my dad, who committed suicide in 2017, December 8th. I remember that night. Yeah. So he, uh, by a chain, he put himself up there, and so because again he thought ahead of it. He didn't want anyone helping him, so he wanted it to be harder to get him out. But yeah, so it's the big thing about him is like he helped everybody but himself. He helped everybody. He was there for fucking everybody. Like if someone like he's built additions to people's houses because he was a carpenter, he had his own business. But he helped people build additions for friends and family on the house, and he's like help people. He's always helped people out. He was always there for everybody, but he just didn't help himself enough. And that's what I learned that from most is that like you need to put yourself first and make sure you are your happiest state, your best state, so that you can be your best for the people around you. That's the whole point about it. That's the whole point. I want my future kid to never fucking ever worry about a dollar in his life. I don't want my wife to ever worry about a dollar in her life. I don't want her to ever worry about any of these bad financial situations that can happen or like if something's bad going on in the country, I can move my family out. I can leave. We can just go. We're not stuck to where we are. Like that's the whole point of all of this. It's for the freedom and like again being able to help people. So yeah, just remember that you can do this stuff and you're watching a fucking legend in the making. Like if you are seeing this. I don't give a shit if no one sees it. But I know I'll be watching in the future, looking back and being proud that I actually took the action to do it. Because I'll be sitting back in my fucking, comfy ass home, lovely ass car, potential wife or girlfriend that, is finally thinks like me or, is willing to be better herself and like, fight to be the best version of herself. Because again, that's also something like, it could be the person going around with girls and shit, but I don't care about that. I need someone who I can actually, connect with. That's like why I could never do that hookup shit. I can't. Yeah, and I've done it like, and I didn't enjoy the hookup shit because it's just not for me, man. You need the connection. I need the connection to someone who actually understands me, who can talk about these things, who has interest in like, learning and, being the best version of herself, eating good and just like, all of that kind of stuff. What I've talked about here, it doesn't have to be everything, obviously. I'm not being super fucking picky. There's plenty of people out there like this. That's what I'm saying. You just gotta be yourself and you attract who you are. That's why. Maybe you're not gonna attract everybody you are. There's gonna be people that you wouldn't want to attract, of course. It happens. It's happened to me many fucking times. But like, dude, you gotta understand that like you will if you like and I have to understand this because I'm even in the boat where like I feel lonely or this and that and I don't really feel lonely. It's just like I have that alone feeling where I'm like, damn, bro, like I do wish I had someone who understood me like that on that level, especially a significant other. Like that would be a dream. But one day it will happen. And it's just right now, I just gotta keep being me, keep doing the best for that future person and our future, child and children. Because like those people I will fight for the world and everything for. I want my future children to have the best life and to then do their own impact on the world of their own uniqueness and their own, just be the best version of themselves as well. So that my child, isn't unfortunate enough to deal with the unluckiness in life of being born into a family that just doesn't, set you up right. And it's not their fault. People are the way they are for a reason. The system has created people, there has to be poor people for it to work. I've seen that that's a real case and that's a need for an economy of ours. But yeah, so I'm gonna cut out the yapping. But yeah, we'll be again speaking a lot about a lot more things. I do yap a lot, so it's more just me dumping my fucking mind onto here. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And if there's anybody, especially there's probably gonna be way more future people seeing this than there ever would be before my account starts getting bigger. Because like I know in the future I'll be doing a lot better things. But right now, these are just to get them out there, to put my thoughts out there, because I need to do it. So yeah, just remember all of this. This is people. A lot of people don't let yourself be consumed by the world. You know, create more than you consume. That will always make you feel better. I promise you. We are meant to create as humans, and uh, that's like what really makes us feel purposeful. So if you feel down, just try creating. It could be art, it could be content, it can be a new business, it could be just ideas or just whatever the fuck you want to create. Just create more than you ever consume. You'll be a lot happier than you would even realize, I bet you. So, yeah, have a great one. And remember, you can do fucking anything you put your mind to. You are so capable that you really got no idea. And I believe in you more than anybody could fucking fathom.